Martell Holt, his mother Marlene Holt, his ex-wife Melody Shari, and even Arione Curry are at the center of a storm that has fans talking back to their screens and asking how much longer. Martell can keep it together. This isn't your usual Instagram drama or a quick courtroom spar with Melody. This time the shock came from inside Martell's own family. The one person who has defended him more fiercely than anyone else's mother. Marlene finally spoke out. And her words cut deeper than anything Melody, Letitia Scott, or Kimmy Scott have ever said. Looking her son straight in the eye, Marlene said quietly, "I cannot defend you anymore." That single sentence sent a shockwave through Love and Marriage, Huntsville like nothing before it. By the time you hear the full story, you'll understand why fans are calling this one of the biggest turning points in the show's history. The reaction online was instant. Twitter lit up with people typing, "Finally," in all caps. Instagram Lives replayed the clip again and again. And Marlene didn't yell or cry, she simply said it with calm finality. A truth that landed harder than any shouting match. In that moment, Martell, who has always managed to paint himself as the victim, looked exposed. Because if even your own mother won't stand by you, who will? Viewers have watched Martell thrive on chaos for years. From the bitter divorce and custody fights with Melody, to his scandal-filled relationship with Arione, to nonstop clashes with Marsa and Morris Scott, Martell has always kept himself at the center of the drama. Producer Carlos King hardly had to lift a finger. Martell was a headline machine all by himself. But now the armor is cracking. And social media can smell the weakness. Marlene's history makes this betrayal sting even more. She has always defended her son against the fans, against Melody, against anyone who dared to call him out. When he embarrassed Melody, she brushed it off as just Martell. When the cheating rumors spread, she softened the blow. Through every scandal, she stood as his fortress. But this time she said she was tired of excuses. Tired of protecting behavior that can't be justified. Tired of watching her son play the victim in chaos he created himself. And then came the comparison that froze the room. Marlene spoke openly about Melody and Arione. Melody, she said, brought strength and stability. Even after heartbreak, she built a life for her kids and kept moving with grace. Arione, on the other hand, she described as nothing but disruption. No soft words, no hesitation, just a mother bluntly saying that her son's choices in women were drowning him. Fans couldn't believe it. Did she just pick Melody's side on camera? Martell's face said everything. The man who loves to show off suits, cars, and bravado suddenly looked small. For years, he has relied on women to shield him, Melody carrying the family business, Arione giving him validation when the world turned on him, and Marlene smoothing over every scandal. Now all three have stepped back. Melody is thriving on her own. Arione is posting late-night cryptic messages about things I let slide. And Marlene has drawn a line that Martell can't erase. Online comments poured in. Even his mom's done with him. When your mama stops defending you, it's over. And while the internet roasted him, Martell stayed silent. No Instagram lives, no clapbacks, nothing highly unusual for a man who feeds off attention. But when the spotlight turns into a mirror, sometimes you don't want to see the reflection. The moment also highlighted Melody in a whole new way. For years, people questioned her strength and her choices. From Letitia's shade to Destiny's sudden shifts to Martell dragging her to court. She has faced constant tests. But with Marlene publicly recognizing Melody's strength and calling out Arione's chaos, it felt like a long overdue validation of everything Melody has said all along. Of course, Arione wasn't going to stay quiet. Around 4 a.m., she dropped one of her trademark cryptic posts about not letting things slide anymore. Fans immediately wondered, was it about Martell? Melody? The public? No one knew. But everyone sensed a new storm brewing. Even the rest of the cast had thoughts. Letitia reportedly looked stunned by Marlene's bold words. Marsa smirked that everybody gets exposed eventually. Kimmy calmly observed that the people closest to us often see the truth first. And producer Carlos King had to be grinning. This is reality TV gold, though, so where does Martell go from here? His marriage is long over. His custody battle is still in play. His relationship with Arione is shaky. And now his mother, the last person to defend him without hesitation, has stepped away. Martell Holt stands more exposed than ever. And in the world of love and marriage, Huntsville, that kind of exposure can mean a very public fall. But the real question fans keep asking is whether this is the moment Martell finally faces the consequences he's been dodging for years. Without his mother's unconditional support, he's entering uncharted territory. Viewers have long speculated that Marlene was the quiet force keeping him grounded behind the scenes, offering him a safe place when public opinion turned brutal. Now that she stepped back, Martell has no built-in shield. Industry insiders are already whispering about what this could mean for his future on Love and Marriage. Huntsville, ratings may spike in the short term. But reality TV history shows that when a cast member loses both audience sympathy and family backup, producers eventually pivot. Even Carlos King, who loves a messy storyline, knows a character can't survive forever if the viewers stop rooting for him on some level. Meanwhile, Melody continues to rise. Her businesses are booming, her music career is gaining traction, and her fan base has only grown stronger. Many believe Marlene's public acknowledgement of Melody's strength is a symbolic passing of the torch, a sign that the narrative has shifted permanently. Melody no longer has to defend herself. Our people are finally saying what she said all along. Arione, on the other hand, keeps feeding the rumor mill. Friends of the show claim she's been venting privately, saying she feels betrayed by Marlene's comments and by Martell's silence. Her cryptic late-night posts have become almost daily, and each one sparks a fresh wave of speculation. Fans are dissecting every word, every emoji, trying to figure out if a tell-all interview or explosive podcast appearance is next. The Scotts are also playing their part. Marsa, never one to miss an opportunity to throw shade, has been dropping sly remarks in interviews about karma catching up. Kimmy remains measured but has hinted that sometimes family love means tough love, a statement many took as quiet support for Marlene. Letitia has stayed more neutral publicly, but sources say she's privately shocked that Marlene went on record the way she did. And then there's Martell himself. Insiders describe him as unusually withdrawn. He's been skipping public appearances and avoiding the usual Instagram lives that once came so naturally to him. Some say he's regrouping and planning a major comeback, while others think he's finally realizing that no amount of charm can erase years of reckless decisions. What happens next could define not just Martell's storyline, but the entire next season of Love and Marriage, Huntsville. If he tries to win